Kind of. Alright, so big milestone achieved in that we got the engine to start and it idled after it had a chance to warm up. So the only problem that happened now is when we took the governor off, something got messed up with the throttle. So now we have no throttle control either from, I thought it was just from the pedal, but then I started messing with the lever here and we have no control there. So we're thinking one of the springs that controls the carburetor feed is not going, so, or the carburetor throttle adjustment. So we're thinking we might have accidentally maybe cut one too many things. So I don't know, we're gonna have to dive into this a little bit to see what we find. Okay, so after some further research, what I came across was that we threw away a piece yesterday that we weren't supposed to throw away. So you basically have to do a kind of a custom throttle setup once you take the governor out. And thank you to Redbeard's Garage for the video on the throttle linkage setup for a governor removed engine. So we basically threw away that little tiny, it wasn't a spring, it was one of the rods that one of the springs is wrapped around, and we threw that away thinking we didn't need it, which is a dumb idea. We kept, I mean, we threw it away by accident. We kept a lot of the other parts, but we accidentally threw this away. So we're trying to figure out where we threw it away, basically doing some dumpster diving through my trash cans to try and find it, and then we can hopefully try and bend it up and make a new throttle linkage. Okay, so literally after dumpster diving through my trash can, which is pretty nasty, I found it. So this is the little piece that we were looking for, which is one of the linkages. So we're basically going to take this and make our own custom piece to for the throttle here. So we're gonna go ahead and bend that up and take some measurements, and hopefully we'll get this thing going. True dedication to getting the go-kart running when you actually take the opportunity to dig through your trash can. Luckily it wasn't completely full, but still pretty gross otherwise. Psst. Psst. What's up? What you doing? Bending the linkage that we found so that we can use it again for a custom setup. So I'm trying to bend it with pliers because it's pretty difficult to do on the vise once you get the smaller bends. Yeah. And we're dealing with a really short piece here, shorter, like have probably an inch and a half less of material than if you didn't cut this in half and then throw this half away. So
who would have done something silly like that?
I have no idea. Okay, so now we got our bent piece, which is here, and I don't know exactly where it's gonna connect to the arm here, so we're gonna just drill a few different holes, and hopefully we get a hole that connects nicely to this, where the butterfly valve is completely closed, and then when it pulls, it's completely open. So it's not going to matter if we drill a few holes, so hopefully we just drill one, and hopefully we nail it on the first one, but our luck, probably not.
I was unexpected.
So we just broke the bit, so we're on round 2.
When it's no throttle,
right,
this butterfly valve is still open like that much.
Okay.
So even at idle, we're going to be getting like, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got. Let's drill another one. that's good. Perfect.
I mean, that's all the way until we just get to see it. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Do you think I should try and bend a little piece at the bottom? So we, as you saw, we broke a bit, but that's okay. So we drilled one hole. When we put the the throttle rod in the hole, even at idle, the butterfly valve was slightly open. So with no gas, we'd still be getting some throttle from the engine. So we didn't want that, so we moved the hole out a little bit more, fed this through, and it actually worked perfectly. At idle, the butterfly valve was all the way up against the idle screw, and then when you hit the gas, the butterfly valve opened completely all the way up, and then when you let off, it returned back. So when we get this, we bent it all out here. I know you probably can't see it that well because it's really small, but we're gonna put one small 90-degree bend in it, just to make sure, so like when we feed it through, there's no chance for it to pop back up through. I don't think it would even right now, but just as an added safety precaution. So we're gonna do that, and then I'll show you guys up close how this works, and Matt will give it the gas so you can see the throttle linkage working, to show you guys what we did. Alright, so here's a little close-up of our throttle lever rod here. So our butterfly valve on the carb is right here. Matt, why don't you go ahead and give it some gas and you can show them so you can see our, almost looks like a pelican. So that's wide open, and then let go, and then it returns back to idle. Wide open, back to idle. So as you guys can see, it did kind of want to lift out a little bit when you hit the stop point. So I tried to put a small 90 bend here, but it's really difficult to get a 90-degree bend on a piece that small. So what we're going to do is those little cable tie downs you use for throttle cables and stuff like that, I'll pick one of those up, and I think it'll fit in here. Otherwise, I'll figure out some way just to put a stop thing on here, or even some tape or something, so it can't pop back up through the hole. So that'll be a future modification to make it just a little bit better. Another thing is, just now, like when you hit wide open, it doesn't take nearly as much gas. So as you guys saw in the earlier videos, Matt and Will kept getting the throttle stuck. So now that probably won't be an issue. So we're gonna go ahead and put everything back on, put the air filter back on, and let's go ahead and test this puppy out, see if we can break our time from earlier. That's gonna vibrate right now. Really? That throttle needs to be adjusted a little bit, I think.
Round two.
gonna give her a go. I'll give him a start. Here, I got you. So we've got to take that turn over at the end there really slow because I need to add some more oil. So the low oil sensor is cutting the engine a little early. There, I got you. Coming in. Did you take the turn too hard?
I don't know. I mean, I came off and thought I'd be cool and turn, but that was a bad idea. That was coming.
Can you feel it like vibrate a little bit? I'm trying to figure out what that's from, but further diagnosis. We gotta do a speed test though. Yes and no?
I mean, maybe minimally, yeah. It's hard to tell.
The biggest difference I can tell that it's faster is when you hit it right at the beginning, it revs up a lot faster and gets you going faster.
Yeah, you can hear it and you can feel it.
Yeah. So, you want to do a speed test real quick?
Yeah, real quick, yeah.
Okay. We'll just do it approximate. We don't have to set out the cones or anything.
Okay.
So, do you want to do it?
You can drive it, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pretty got it.
So you got 5.3, 5.4, 5.3 again. And that was with, we just approximated the distance. We didn't actually measure out however much we had in the last video. So I think what I conclude is it gives you a little bit more giddy up taking out the governor, but the real test of like having it, you know, have an effect is like on the top end speed. You know, getting a little bit more top end speed. So what do you think? Think that's plausible?
Yeah, we'll have to find a straightaway, get the app on the phone that reads the top speed, and then
yeah. I mean, that's what we did before back in, I think, August of last year, so.
we can get a straightaway.
Yeah, so we've got a few more things to work on. So this is Sunday, and we were planning on doing all this stuff next Friday, but we just want to get it done. So Matt's gonna come over actually next Friday, and we're gonna address a few things. We're going to add some sort of throttle stop system. We're gonna basically make the throttle and brake system a little bit better. So we're gonna add like a braking stop and a throttle stop so someone doesn't overly jam it, because the way it's set up, if you over jam it, I think you're gonna bust that butterfly valve on the carb, and I don't want that to happen. The throttle needs to be adjusted a little bit because it doesn't return all the way back to complete zero, so that's from fine tuning. What was the other thing we were gonna? Oh, we gotta add a little bit more oil, which is why Matt kept stopping, because the low oil sensor, if you took a turn too hard, the oil would swash to one side, so the oil sensor would kill the motor. So we're gonna do that, and then we might try and address why it's also kind of vibrating a little extra. I think that has to do with the throttle not being at complete idle when you're off the gas. So that's what we're gonna be addressing in the next video this coming Friday. Well, that's when I'll film it and we're gonna do it. I don't know when the actual video is gonna come out. But yeah, so I was pretty happy we were able to get this thing running after, you know, learned a little bit more about engine tuning and, you know, valve adjustment and stuff like that. So that was cool. Got some good experience. I definitely feel that bless you. I definitely feel that an air filter upgrade is due, as well as, you know, an exhaust. The only thing I'm hesitant about the exhaust is just it being too loud. But if you guys can shoot me a link to a custom header with that comes with a really good muffler that you can really quiet it down if you need it to, shoot me a link to that.
Straight pipe it.
Yeah, straight pipe it. I mean, that's what some of these headers are. They're just J-pipe headers, pretty much. So.
That's what I vote for.
But I don't know if my neighbors will vote for that.
Not your neighbors.
So yeah, so that was some pretty good tuning on the go-kart. I had some good experience messing around with the engine. And so next week we're gonna tune it up, get it working a little better, and we'll go from there. So thank you all very much for watching this another video on the channel here. If you guys have any comments, apparently I'm from New York. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer them for you as always. Stick around for more videos around the go-kart, my C55, things like that. So subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, Matt, say goodbye.
Bye.
So he's always a big help. Always willing to lend a helping hand, so I appreciate it. So thanks again, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.